Okay, so we're just gonna like recap retreat. I wasn't at conference, and it's been crazy. I haven't exactly got to watch it yet. So that's on my to-do list this week, but we're gonna just recap like the whole week and just tell you all the nitty-gritty good stuff.
Oh no, I meant actually start because he hasn't stopped. Like talk about like retreat and talk about like how you like, yeah, I know you were like, oh my gosh, stranger. Talk about how you were like very discouraged at one point and you like almost counted yourself out, like all that, because I cannot.
Okay. So, I wasn't enrolling like I thought a person going to a diamond retreat should be. And I was getting really discouraged because I've been in the business for 6 months, I think, and I'm still just at a distributor. But I gained all my confidence back at retreat because our guest speaker, she was actually in the business before, and she was distributor for 7 months. And then I think she said when she got out, she was chartered for double diamond. So definitely don't count yourself out. Like just show up to the power hours, show up to like make yourself known on the team page, make yourself known in the chats, like just show up. Yeah, that's crazy. Here, I'll turn my chat on so you can see what she's saying. Entrance sure she was paid as a triple. Yeah, so that's insane. And I really think I got here just because I never stopped showing up. I used to sleep as long as Xavier would let me, which would be like, until like 11. And then I was like, okay, like something's got to give. Like I got to give something because I'm not where I'm at. I'm not showing up how I want, all of the things. So I started getting on power hours every morning. I made it a non-negotiable. And then God just started opening up doors and was like, okay, yeah, you're earning the retreat and you're going. Like I had to push my wedding up, and it was supposed to be right at the week of the retreat. So there was no way I was going to be able to go. And then had to push that up. And I was like, okay, like I have to go now. And so with the speaker, we talked about like carry-ons and about like lies that you're telling yourself or that other people have told you and made you believe, and like just how to break them all down. I have to do some things on my end to be able to break mine down, but it's a work in progress. And yeah, the lie, the root, and the truth. So you tell the lie, you break it down all the way to the root, and then what's a truth you're going to do? Like what's a truth about that? It's kind of like what Morgan says, where you like write down all the, like, was it two, where you like tell yourself the lie, or you write down the lie, you write out the truth, and then you find like a biblical verse to go along with that. It's kind of like that, where you just like get down to the bottom of it and go all about that. And I'm literally speechless still about what happened in that living room that day.
Okay, I think he's gonna be calm enough. Let's just see.
I can't hear you.
Ugh. Can you hear me now?
Barely.
Ugh. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
This is live today, okay? Anyways. Do you have something to say?
Oh, Xavier started too.
Okay. Yeah. So what I was talking about before the retreat, in the sense of like what was happening before, like I remember that day that you texted me about your wedding being moved up and how you were going to run even harder, that you hadn't been. But I think the discouragement had settled in. You know what I mean? I think you're like, oh, hey, like I have not enrolled the way I wanted to. I don't feel like I've shown up the way I wanted to. Like, you just threw food, and that's like my biggest pet peeve. Anyways, so I think at that point, you had like in a sense already shut down about the retreat and counted yourself out.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's so easy to do because like for me, because I've been running for Diamond for so long, I'm like, oh, well, it's a Diamond retreat. I'm not Diamond. I'm not worthy of Diamond. I ain't going to be there. You know, and that's where my head went. I'm so sorry, guys. I can't get him to stop talking to me. I can't. And so, one sec. There's a girl trying to get on. Hold on. I'm so sorry, guys. Like, I feel like this is so unorganized, and I literally hate it. Like, this is my biggest pet peeve. I hate it. And Grace, it's not your fault in the sense of losing like your phone. Like, this is unorganized. I can't. This is not my jam. This is not what I thrive in at all. This is like, I need some me time right now. Like retreat was great. Conference was great. It was beautiful, but I need some me time and not like other people's time. That's my little thing.
I felt that.
Recorded and I don't even care at this point because we don't. And I guess like why I'm mentioning this right now is because everyone's like, you always have this perfect life. Like you always have these perfectly posed pictures and they're saying all this crap. And I'm like, no, literally, this is what my life is. So when people tell me they can't do this, I'm gonna get passionate for a second here because I just had someone text me before this Zoom that they haven't gotten paid and they're trying to figure out why. And I'm like, I wonder why you haven't gotten paid considering you haven't worked. And I'm like, when people are like, oh, well, I'm too busy to work. That's a load of crap. It's really a choice. Okay, it's really genuinely a choice. And why I want to like bring that up is because like we all. Digit, you just happened on Granger's going crazy right now. But so we all have a choice and really like we're all busy in very different ways. Okay. So like I'm home with one kid. I know my girl Digit, she has 2 kids she's home with. Melissa has 1 kid, but her husband works like sort of night shift-ish. It's a weird schedule. Like Grace obviously has Xavier, but she also works outside of the house. And so like there's literally so many different versions of busy, but it really is a priority. And so I wanted to bring this up is like, when that retreat came out, so there was a retreat in 2018, the first year that I joined, and I earned it. And it was like, I was speechless because my friend Zoe called me and she was like, so what are you doing? I think it was in October, but she was like, what are you doing in October this week? And I was like, well, I don't know. And she's like, well, guess what? You're going to go to the retreat. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, like they're allowing us to bring one person on our team that really we just feel like is showing up, that's doing all the things, like that's really just bringing a lot to the team. And you're her. And I was like, and I just cried because I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm being rewarded. Okay. And so it was really cool. And then my retreat in 2019 that I could have gone to, I was just not ready to leave Granger at that point. He was only like a month old and I didn't want to bring him. And there's people who do that and that's fine. But like, as even my husband said, like when I go to that type of thing, like I want to be able to just fully immerse myself in what's going on. And I don't feel like, even though he's a newborn and he wouldn't be doing very much as in the sense of like pumping and stuff, but I'm just like, it's not my jam to want to bring him to a retreat. Like to a conference event, I feel like I wouldn't mind, but to a retreat, I feel like that's something I earned and I really want to like plug into myself there. So anyways, my whole point was that can you guys still hear me if I go back down here? My feet are starting to hurt. Sweet. Okay. Thank you. And so when I earned this retreat, or when they announced, I should say, that we were even like able to earn it, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to run so dang hard for this. Like, I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm far enough away, but I'm just going to run for the dang thing. And so you can bet that every single day I was in Morgan's inbox. I was talking about this retreat. I was talking about what it was going to do for me. I was talking about the Christmas cash. I was texting her. I was like, I'm running for this retreat. Grace is also running for it. Like, have you seen her stories? Have you seen her, like all these things that led up to it? And guess what? We both got it. And so I guess what I want to like put into perspective is like Grace counted herself out almost. Like if she wouldn't have had that wake up moment of having her wedding moved, that was pretty much in a sense of God. Dad's home. It was really a God thing that she was able. I know Daddy's here and he's gonna come get you. Okay, I promise. I promise he is. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, if she wouldn't have had that, she probably would have counted herself out even worse and possibly even quit. Okay. Grace, talk for a second. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, so I really did count myself out. Like I was talking to Isaiah about it every single day, and then like I just stopped because I was like, there's no way that I can earn it. Like I'm a distributor right now, and I counted myself out, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be Diamond. And that's really what I was running for, to be able to earn it, because I wanted to claim my spot and not be a coach's pick. But I knew that I had to be there because they always talk about how life-changing events are, and I never really believed it, but they are. Like, I'm speechless still about the whole week. And so I just showed up the best way that I could. Brooke was telling me all the time that I was showing up so amazingly. I didn't feel like it, so I just kept doing what I was doing because I was getting praise for showing up. So I just kept showing up.
And I think showing up can be like taken so many different ways. Like, to me, showing up is like Digit hopping on the Zoom even though she's late, and I reminded her really late because today was not a good day. I think showing up is like when someone asks who's excited for the Zoom tonight, responding in the chat. I think showing up is like if I tag you in something on Derby Diamond, responding. Now, I'm not saying every single day you need to respond. Like, I posted this and tagged you at 7:15 and you responded at 7:16. Like, I'm not saying that type of thing, but I'm saying like I do pay attention to who is like, if like I'm thinking about like, oh, if I have Maryland retreat, how am I going to look at this? I'm gonna look at the people who I feel like are excited. Literally, Melissa, you are killing it. And I'm not even kidding. Every time you sign a customer, I was like, Grace, Melissa signed another customer. She's like, what? We were literally the whole time just freaking out at the retreat. Like, it was awesome. And so this retreat though is also really different. And I'll get to that in a second. But like when I went to that first retreat, it did change my life. And so there, like I said, this Zoom is gonna be all over the place, but I think it's gonna be really good. So at the first retreat, they brought in Denise Walsh. And if you don't know who that is, she is a Black Diamond. She was It Works' first Black Diamond. And what that means, because it's not even technically a rank, is it's after Ambassador Diamond. It means that they make, and hear me clearly here, $100,000 a month for 6 months consecutively, like in a row. They do that. Insert income disclosure statement here. Okay. So like I had followed this girl. I was like obsessed with this girl, and Morgan didn't tell any of us that this was happening. And she walked in the door and I was like, oh my God, I was like, what? Like, I freaked out and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then she sat next to me on the couch and I was like, like I had to take a breath and remember, okay, she's a real person. Like I have to be chill, I have to be cool, like all these things. And so literally she was the coolest, chillest, real person that I could have ever thought. And that's not what I would have like thought meeting her. But she genuinely was like, I just want to be a yes mom. I want to be the mom that's there at like recess, or a mom that's there on parent day, or a mom that this. And she like talked about all her goals and dreams and stuff. And kind of talks about limitations as well. But hers was more like, it's okay if you want to go to work and send your kids to daycare, but send them on these big vacations. It's okay if you want to stay home with your kids. It's okay if you want to homeschool. It's okay if you want to do this. And like, she basically like told us that our dreams were okay, no matter what they were, even if they were different. And I just thought that was really cool. But I left that retreat feeling like, okay, you know, at that point, obviously I didn't have Granger. And so I was like, it's okay for me to want to just like teach all the time. You know, it's okay for me to want to teach summer lessons. It's okay for me to want to do all that. Like she said, it's okay for me to work this business and still be teaching. And obviously then my life changed and God had a better plan anyways, but he always does. And so leaving that retreat though, my paycheck went up, my team grew, like it was just absolutely incredible. When I came home, I was like, I have this fire lit in me that I was like, let's freaking go. Like, let's go, you know? And so I did. I kept increasing my paycheck and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I went to conference, which was a couple months later in January-ish. And the same thing happened. I'm not kidding. I think my volume, I have it saved somewhere, but my volume was like 2,300 maybe was my BV going into conference. And I promoted to Emerald like right after conference. And my GV, my group volume thing was like 5,700. I was like, oh, dang. I was like, okay, like this is cool. And so like volume wise, yes, it changed my business, but it was also just really cool because like talking on Zooms is incredible, guys. It's incredible. Like being able to meet people and like, just like, I know Digit personally, so that's a little bit different. She's one of my best friends, but like, it's so different meeting the people that you talk to on Zooms that you know, but don't know sort of thing. It's really weird because you like literally, I could tell you all the things about Melissa's life, but I've never met her in person. You know what I mean? So you feel like you know someone, but you don't sort of thing. And so I feel like events really like makes it a lot more real because you can hear these people talk on these Zooms, you can hear people say these things, and sometimes it like hits you, but being actually in person with them and they're the exact same as they are on Zooms, you're like, oh, these people really are real, you know. And like Digit just joined me like about a month ago and she was like, these people just, I get off the Zooms and I feel so encouraged. And I'm like, and that's why she's going to be at an event with me next time because like I'm like, you got to go to this event and feel the encouragement times like 10, you know. And so getting back to retreat though, like when that speaker came, like there was tears. I'm gonna try real hard not to cry. I'm a crier. It's just what it is. And I cried way too much this week. So I'm good. Anyways, so that speaker came in and like we talk about the color personality. So if you know your color personality, I want you to put it in the chat real quick. I'm a yellow green. Okay. So yellows are very, very emotional. And greens are very like analytical and organized and everything like that. Blues are very much like I need to be a part of things. They're very like energetic usually type of people, kind of like always having fun. And then the reds are usually the competition driven, the more blunt people, and definitely money driven sort of people. Okay, so this girl was a red, this speaker that we had come in. And sometimes in the beginning, especially, and so I'm gonna share this with you because it was really good that Morgan shared it with me too. There would be people, sorry, that got off the Zooms or that got the, oh my gosh, that she brought on the Zooms that I was like, oh, they're a little too red for me. I don't know what to do because I felt like they were like attacking me. Like that's what, they're like, do this, do that. You're not doing this. Like it was just intense. And that's not how I like take things very well, I guess. And so when I started hearing her though, someone would be like, for instance, like, I'm not a good mom. And she's like, who the heck told you that? She's like, just like cut it off like that. But she wasn't being mean about it. She wasn't being pushy. She was like, someone said like, I'm not worthy of something. And she was like, well, who said that? Because God in this verse says this. And she would just like bring in all these incredible things. And I guess like why I wanted to talk about it is because like she was to me a very healthy red. Like she was able to be blunt with us, but not like rude or mean or anything like that. But there are going to be people who are like very blunt on those Zooms. You might get off and be like, oh, dang. Well, first off, what Morgan told me when I couldn't handle the red people, and there are still some I can't handle, and that's fine. But she was talking about it. She's like, you need to take the red out of what they're saying and put the yellow in it. And so if I'm talking to Grace, now that I know how much red she really needs, I'm going to try to do better at being more red, but I could be like, Grace, like, you're not doing your crap. Like, this is why you joined. Let's go. You know what I mean? I can bring that into her. But if I was to take the red out of that, and let's say I was going to talk to Melissa, I'd be like, hey, Melissa, like, I know you aren't showing out the way you want to, but I remember you joined for this. And I'm sure like maybe some doubts are creeping in, or maybe you're getting insecure, but let's work through this because this is what you joined for. Boom. I said the same thing. I just said it two different ways. And so that was just really cool. And so if you do struggle with someone being a little more blunt, like maybe on a Zoom or something, or maybe you haven't had that happen and maybe it'll happen in the future, I guess that's my best advice for you. But anyways, when that speaker was there, we did break the lies down. And I think that's an encouragement I want to give to you right now. You don't have to do it right on this Zoom because I don't want you to be distracted, but go write down like 3 to 5 truths. Or 3 to 5 truths. Oh my gosh, 3 to 5 lies that you believe about yourself, whether it's business or whether it's personal. Go write down those lies, like on a piece of paper or something. Then go say them in front of the mirror, because I promise you, they're going to sound real stupid when you say them out loud. And then I want you to get to the root of that. Like, I want you to genuinely think about it and pray about it and be like, why does this hurt me? Why do I believe this? Who said it to me? What is my emotion behind it? Really dig down, as it says, to the root of that. And then, especially if you're someone of faith, go look at what the Bible says about it. And like, I've got notes upon notes in my little book that we got from the girl about like every Bible verse she was like writing down. I was like, Grace, what was that Bible verse? Grace, what was that Bible verse? Like, she talked way too fast for me and I talk fast too, but like, I was like, wait, what? And so I wrote it down. So I've got all them. So like, I can explain more of that later, but it was just really incredible that like the lies, because fear really truly is from the enemy. And I think we just like I'd always talk to people, it's my best example of it, but I always say I'm a bad mom because I lose my cool. And it's like, I know that sounds really harsh, and even saying it, I'm like, oh, nope, that's not true. But like, it just feels that way when I do. And like, I prayed for Granger to be a very helpful soul. I prayed for him to be just so like kind and things like that. And he is exactly that. I cannot do dishes, vacuuming, or sweeping without his help. But you know what's also frustrating? Not being able to do dishes, sweeping, or vacuuming without his help. And then I like think about it and I'm like, okay, first off, I'm not a bad mom for losing my cool, because I am someone that likes to get things done. Like, let's get it done as fast as I can so I can go have me time or whatever. But then I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I don't remember what day it was, but one day I was just really struggling with it. And I swear God was like, this is what you prayed for. And I was like, okay. And it was exactly what I prayed for. And so like, I guess I just want you to remember that with, what you may be getting overwhelmed with, whether it's your kids or your husband or, birthday events or all the things you got going on, it might be what you prayed for. And you just might need to take a minute and be like, okay, what does the Bible say about this? And so it's just a really cool thing that we did. And the other thing that we did, like I said, I'm trying real hard not to cry here, but we did, where's that? Crap. Oh, it is there. Okay. We did this event thing. where Morgan printed out a picture of us, okay? And she was like, we're all gonna write down something encouraging to these people. And like some of these people I knew pretty well, but some of them I didn't. And it was after the speaker, so that made it a little bit different. But they all just wrote down these encouraging things on this piece of paper, okay? And let me tell you, I'm a crier, but like I didn't get through like 3 of these because someone said I was a good mom and I just bawled the whole time. But like it was just really cool because like I think sometimes you don't think you're in like not inspiring. You don't think you're impacting people if you're not a leader on the team. And I guess like why I wanted to bring this part into it, and I could read it and like go tell you all about everything that people said to me, but that's not the point. The point was we did something very similar to this at conference in January. And I think I told you about this one, but we did a reverse gossip session basically where you talk good about people to their face. Okay. Except we said it out loud. So it was very much, if Grace, if you can believe it, it was more emotional than the posters because we were saying it out loud and they were actually saying it to you. So like I would have been like, Grace, this, I would have said it to you. So it was really intense and emotional, but this was a very different kind of good. But anyways, we did that. And like, I knew what I brought to the team in the sense of the leadership that I had and everything. But literally the most that people said to me was that I was the most encouraging person on the team. Like they all said that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what? Like, I just didn't think because it's so natural to me to be encouraging someone like, hey, you just signed a customer, way to go. Hey, you just talked on your story, way to go. Like doing all these things, that's fine. And so when these people were telling me this, I was like, oh my gosh. And so I just like, all I was doing was saying like, good job in the chat. All I was doing was offering to help somebody in this scenario. And like, I was impacting somebody just with that, not even with changing someone's life financially or anything, just even emotionally, I was doing that. And so, excuse me, like when I think about a retreat that I want to host, that's kind of like the people I want to. And I know like different people are good at encouraging and different people are good at, you know, competitions and things like that. Like that's fine. I'm not going to just choose the people who are encouraging, but I think it's really big, especially if you're not where you want to be like, hey, way to go. Like great job on that. You know what I mean? Like that's a really cool thing. And so I guess I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like there's a lot of times that you can just be sitting here like, oh, like I'm not worthy of that. Like, I don't know if I could earn a retreat or, you know, all those things might be going through your head. And like, it's just not true because as Grace said, she's 6 months in, quote, still a distributor. I don't like wording it like that because there's just so much more coming. But like, I do feel like you have to grow before you can have what you want, because I feel like, you know, maybe you're not ready for that. And I'm not saying that Grace is not ready for the leadership of Ruby. I think she is, but the people on her team the past few months they were not the people she was supposed to promote with. And I truly think God removes people from your life personally and business wise that are just not supposed to be here and you're not supposed to promote with them. And that's okay. And it's hard to take at the time. I mean, it sucks, but you're like, okay, like God's still got a plan with this. Like I'm gonna trust him. Okay. And that's really hard, but it's what I wanted to say. And so like, I guess why I wanted to bring up all those events is because even when I went to that one in January, people said the same thing. They just said, you're so encouraging. Like, I'm so excited to meet you. You're the same person. You're still so encouraging. Like I'm complimenting people. I'm telling people I like their earrings, you know, all these different things. And it's just really cool to think that like, that's how people know me, is this encouraging spirit. Like that's what I want to be known for. That's something I pride myself on. But either way, I feel like I'm just going on and on at this point. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, it can feel weird, especially because I flew to the retreat by myself. So like, I didn't know anybody. I got off the plane, didn't know it'd be similar to Grace. And actually she met up with someone that she's, I think, decently close to now, which is really cool. But like, I didn't meet up with anybody at the airport. I like got through baggage claim and everything like that. And it was weird flying to meet people that I had never met in person. But I guess I'm trying to say that even if you're scared of that, jump in on it and go, just like you jumped in on this opportunity, because my goodness, God is going to work through that event and he's going to work through this weekend. Just like we had a devotional the second morning of conference, we had a worship night the first night of conference, like all of these incredible things. Like you got to trust that God brought you here for a reason. You got to trust that God is going to get you to that event somehow, and he's going to work through that event. And it might even change you personally, not only business wise. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is like business wise, it's great. It's great when our paychecks go up. It's great when our team, like grows and everything like that. But it is also great when we grow like personally. And like, even in the 4 days, really gonna try not to cry. Even in the 4 days that Grace was at that retreat, she grew so much in those 4 days. And I was like, how is this actually possible that someone can grow that much? But people even said it about me. And I was like, what? I'm like, yeah, you did this, this, and this, or you handled this way. And like, there were so many things that happened that don't need to be mentioned, but it was just incredible. And like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, you're on here now. And whether you went to this retreat or you didn't, you can be at the next one with me. And I'm committed to having like at least 3 to 5 people with me next time, because having someone there with me on my team was like so different than any event that I've ever gone to. And now I know why Morgan's always like, I want you guys up there with me. I want you guys at these events with me. I know now, because it was so different having someone be like, this is my team. Like she did this, you know, and it was really cool. And obviously Melissa was signing like crazy during that time. So I was like, oh my gosh, I was talking about Melissa the whole time. Like it was just really, really cool to have that and to be able to like brag on my team, because it isn't about me anymore. Like I've done pretty much the things that I want to do. Like I still have goals. Obviously, you guys, I talked about it. I'm going to pay off our last 2 loans with this Christmas cash bonus. So that we, oh my gosh, so that we can get a house. But what I'm trying to say is like, I literally bawled when Grace left. Like I was so sad. And it was like, I was bummed after that and everything. It was just a sad thing, but it was just so cool to be able to have a team member there. And I guess what I'm trying to say is like, you belong there, whether you were into this one or not, whether you feel like you're worthy or not. And I wanted to like put a plug in for conference, which is going to be on probably every Zoom now here on out, because you're going to hear about it, but it's because it truly changes lives. And obviously I've been in here for 3.5 years. And so I know the effects of it, but I want Grace to talk a little bit more about why it was so life-changing for her. Like not even just the speaker, but even the talks that she had with other people and like things like that, that you can hear from someone that is newer and that might have a different perspective. And because I feel like I've been talking and rambling.
Okay, first, is my TV too loud? No? Okay, it's driving me insane. So, okay, first of all, if you counted yourself out for that, drop a 1 in the chat. If you counted yourself out for the retreat, drop a 1 in the chat. Okay, now who's feeling encouraged to go next year after Brooke just spoke? Okay. The thing she's saying, she's not lying. Obviously the speaker was incredible, and I'm not going to go too much into that because there's a lot of stuff I haven't worked through with what she said. But my biggest thing going in there was, I don't know anybody. I haven't really talked to anybody. I've really only talked to Brooke. I don't know anybody. I'm scared. So I didn't talk to anybody, but everybody there came up to me and talked to me. It made me feel welcome. And then with one of our 4 a.m. chats, Kelsey, actually, I was talking to her and I was like, I'm just so scared to talk to people. Like I'm scared to even top leaders on our team. I was scared to slide up on their stories and everything like that. And Brooke and hold on, I'm drawing a blank. Tara and Kelsey all sat down, and Stevie all sat down there and was like, I'm scared to talk to people too. I'm scared to slide up on people's stories. And I was like, okay, like you guys have been in the business a while. It's not just me. And then they were like, but what happens if you do text them? Brooke, she was in Hannah Reeves' inbox every day. And then she has Hannah Reeves' number now. And Kelsey got a text from Cami Pentecost because they make themselves known. And so when that was like my biggest takeaway was like, don't be scared to talk to people. They're just people. When I was in the airport, when I left the retreat, I slid up on one of Hannah Reeves' stories and she messaged me back. She messaged me back again today too, but just fangirling over here. Cami Pentecost called us. I was front and center. You best believe she saw my face. When Mark Pentecost called us at the conference house, I was front and center. He saw my face too. Like I made myself known because they encouraged me. Like they were like, why the heck not? I was even scared to swipe up on Morgan's story. And I was talking to her about it and she was like, why? And I was like, I don't know. Like now talking to you, I don't know why I was so scared, but like my anxiety just tells me that everybody's going to hate me and make fun of me. And she was like, okay, well, I hope you know that's not true now. And I was like, now I do. Like, but it took them to tell me like, just freaking do it. Like I'm the one that needs the red talk. Like I need that. So when they were like, just do it, like, what's holding you back? I was like, I don't know. Like, and just connecting with these people. Like I see them on Zooms, I look up to them, they're my role models. And so actually like talking to these people that you're looking up to is incredible. Like having just conversation, not even about the business, just conversations.
And I feel like that goes along with worth though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not worthy to talk to this person.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, Morgan is number 10 of the top income earners out of our entire company. And she's not even the top rank. And she's still the most genuine person I know. Like, she's the most encouraging person I know. She could be the most blunt person sometimes, but that's okay because people need that, you know? I don't know what number Hannah is, but it doesn't matter because she's crazy successful and she's been home with her 3 babies. And when her son was in the hospital and the NICU fighting for his life, she was able to be there. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to tell myself I was not going to cry on the Zoom. But like, she was able to be there, you know, when Cheyenne Knox, literally her Tahoe drove into someone else's house almost, she was able to pay for it. You got to go to her page if you haven't seen it. I promise it's hilarious, but just God was with her that day.
It's comical now.
Yes, it's comical now. But all of these people are literally just the same people that you'd see in an airport. They're the same people you'd see at the mall. And so like, I feel like we put these people on a pedestal. And I guess what I want to encourage you is like, in my training that I do, I go through it. I'm like, okay, I want you to look at this list of VIPs and I don't know if we've gotten to this yet, but shortly after we get to a list of VIPs in the company and have you go through their profile and I have you figure out who inspires you. And not everyone on that list is possibly going to inspire you. And that's okay. Because guess what? Melissa is obsessed with Haley Cox now. Okay, that girl can breathe some fire into a Zoom. Like, she is just like, I want to meet her in person because I feel like I just would be so like hyped up after talking to her. But that's not someone I should say, sorry, that like daily inspires me. And I say that lightly. Okay, she's very inspiring. She's very like encouraging. Like, I like her, but that's not someone who I resonate with. So I resonate with Hannah. I love watching Shay's story. Like, those are my 2 besides Morgan that I watch. And so I guess like, even if the person isn't on my list that I send you guys, like, it's okay to go find someone outside of this. Like, Grace is gonna flip her crap when she meets Ashley Mayfield for the first time in person. I'm not. Okay,
I might have a heart attack.
She seems like a really awesome person, but she is just like so red that my yellow heart can't handle it yet. And so it's just like funny, and it's okay to have those different people. But like, if you, I guess going along with it, if you don't feel worthy to talk to them, it's because you're putting them on a pedestal. And that's what I guess as I'm trying to say is like, yeah, I have Hannah Reeves' number right here. We talk, like, she prayed for me. I asked her advice on things. Like, it's just absolutely incredible because they really are normal people. But yes, if you did not see on my stories, Cami Pentecost, who is the daughter of our CEO, she's the senior vice president of field development. I was like, wait, that's a lot of words. She called us private FaceTime, and so did Mark freaking Pentecost, our CEO. Like, I still
FaceTime Morgan like it was nothing.
Yeah. And he literally changed his shirt at conference for our leader. He literally was like, I'm going to go no excuses, because Morgan was 32 weeks, hosted a retreat, and went to conference with her team. And he was like, you are the definition of no excuses. I'm so proud of you. I was like, I'm going to cry for you because you're not a crier. Like, it was so cool. And I guess like what I'm trying to say is like, and remind you guys up to, is that Morgan started where we started. Hannah started where we started. So did Shay. And guess what? So did Cami. And you know what? This should be an encouragement for you. Cami Pentecost, the daughter of the CEO, did not sign a distributor for 6 months in her business. Now, whether that was because she wasn't working or not, it doesn't matter. The fact is, she didn't sign a distributor for 6 months. And guess what? She went Black Diamond, aka, remember that $100,000 a month for 6 consecutive months. It's our income disclosure statement here. She did that. And she didn't even earn her shopping spree. And so I guess I just really wanted to encourage you guys tonight with just feelings of worthiness, but also feelings of like not counting yourself out. And even if you do count yourself out a little bit, to push through that and to like genuinely come to me, because I will hype your butt up. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, every Grace is like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. I was like, Grace, you gotta get there. Like, you're gonna be there. You're gonna be there. Because she was telling me, she's like, I'm gonna run for this retreat, you know. And so like, when that next retreat is announced, whenever that thing is announced, I want to know. But guess what? I want to go to conference with the people on this Zoom right now. I want to be like, there were 4 people. 4 people outside of me on my Zoom. I want to go with you guys to conference. I want to be there with you and like see your faces and like see you meet all these people that you look up to. I want to do that. But you got to get your own head, like get out of your own head and truly believe that you're worthy of that and that you can go and talk to these people, you know? I guess that's what I wanted to say, really. I feel like there was something else I was going to say, so give me a minute. But Grace, do you have anything else for a minute?
Yeah, 1 second. Sydney is like our best friend. No, you're fine. She's our best friend from high school, and we haven't seen each other in like years. So me and her and my sister are catching up real quick. I'm gonna walk away. So my biggest thing was like just step out of your comfort zone. Like there was, I think, me and one other person there that hasn't promoted, but we showed up so much that we were there with Macy. She's a triple diamond. We were in the same room, hugged her. Like, you know, it's those things of like showing up and just being there and just knowing that even if your E-suite isn't there yet, like it will catch up. So that's like my biggest thing, and like what they really helped me. Y'all know what Macy told me? She already she thought I was Ruby. I told her I was distributor, and she was like, "Nuh-uh," and I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "I really thought you were Ruby or above just because of the way you show up." And I thought that about Brooke too. I thought she was diamond because of the way she shows up. And so don't get like, if you do get discouraged, like relight the fire, show up to the Zooms, be front and center, like just be fully present, take it all in so you can light your fire back, because if you're showing up, everything's gonna come.
Show up to the point where Cheyenne knocks.
I can't hear you.
No, can you hear me?
Oh, now I can.
Okay. I get so frustrated by my computer. Show up to where Cheyenne Knox or Haley Cox or did you haven't got that part in your training, or Ashley Mayfield swipes up or tells you, I thought you were a triple diamond. Because that's what Cheyenne Knox thought about me. And I was like, what? Like Morgan texted me. I was like, no actual way. She's like, yeah, she asked if you were a double. And then when she was on a different sim, she thought I was triple. I was like, Cheyenne Knox just thought I was a triple diamond. But it was literally like, Cheyenne Knox just thought I was a triple diamond. I was like, what the actual heck? It's because I constantly show up. Like probably the most thing that people told me at retreat that was business related is how consistent I am on my stories. Now today, don't go look at my stories in that sense, because first off, some of them didn't upload, but second off, coming off of being off a day 6 days away from Granger, that's going to be very different. But you guys all have seen me be consistent on my stories. And that's something I pride myself on, is because I'm not going to go get this retreat and then not show up like I had before. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to continue showing up because I know that's what got me there. And I know that's what's going to get me farther. So I really just, like I said, wanted to pour into some belief in you guys tonight. And I really just wanted to like make you feel worthy of everything that you're dreaming about and remind you to pray about it and remind that like God's got you, but he did bring you here for a reason. And like, in a sense, like there was one thing I think I wanted to share that she said.
I have something to go on that too.
Okay, go that, and then I'll find my thing that I was going to share real quick.
So when I was younger, I used to be like really into my faith, and then I got out of it for reasons that's not important right now. And then I joined this business, and I kept hearing everybody say, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it. And I was like, I don't know about this. Like, I'm just now starting my faith journey again. But I gave it over. And every day I prayed, thank you for blessing my business, and thank you for continuing to bless my business. That was my prayer. And it literally, God got me to this retreat. Like I'm not sugarcoating it when I say that. Like he opened every single door to allow me to get to this retreat. So the day that I handed it over to God, I signed Sydney. The next day I signed another distributor, and that month I signed 4 customers. The day I handed it over to God.
And I love that it wasn't like, hey, bless my business so I can get this. It was bless my business and bless the efforts. Because I think that's something that sometimes people like not misunderstand, but they're like, oh, I want this. Like I could easily just pray like, oh, well, I want you to bless my business so that I can pay off my 2 loans. I don't pray about that. I pray like, yeah, I want to pay off my 2 loans. I really do. But I want Grace to pay off a loan. I want Digit to pay off a loan. I want Melissa to pay off. Like, I want you guys to do the things that you want to do, because I've done the things now. And it's just like, it is special to me. Obviously, it's cool to say I paid off my car 2 years ago. Like it's bomb to say that. But it's so much cooler if Digit could call me and be like, oh my gosh, we just paid off our truck. You know what I mean? Like that's so much cooler, and that means so much more to me now. And I guess I just wanted to kind of bring that in too. But two things I guess that I want to leave you guys with, and we'll see if I talk about them after, but I really want to be respectful of your time. Normally I try to keep these to 30 minutes, but I figured this one was going to be a little more intense, not because of Granger, because I figured Daniel was going to be home by that time, but because I knew it was coming off of retreat and conference, and we're just coming off of such a high. And it's just really awesome to be with people that you're with all the time. But she reminded us when we do have negative thoughts, she just said, say, I do not receive that. And like literally just like shut it down right away and don't sit there and entertain it, because that's going to make it worse. She also said you can't fight thoughts with thoughts, you have to fight thoughts with words. And so that's why she does the lie, root, and truth. And then she goes and finds a biblical verse about it. And I can share the biblical verses in here if you guys want. Ooh, excuse me, not like on a Zoom, because we'd be on till 10 o'clock. But I can share them with you like if you ask me for them. But something I want to leave you with here is, because this was probably one of my biggest aha moments. She said, when you struggle with your identity and do not accept who God called you to be, you will allow others to define who you are. And I want to say that one more time because I thought that was so good. She said, when you struggle with your identity and do not accept who God called you to be, you will allow others to define who you are. And so like, that can be the silliest thing, into like me being a crazy cat lady, me not liking Chick-fil-A or Mexican, like me, I can't think of another one. Me being super emotional and bawling when Grace left. Like I couldn't even talk. Like it was just a lot. But like I could be like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed of that. Like, and I can just own them. And I feel like that's the confidence that I have from God. And don't get me wrong, I did not start out like that. I really didn't. But it's because of the books that I was reading and the personal development that I was doing. And so I guess that's my last thing I want to leave you with is like, if you're not confident in who you are, or maybe what your purpose is here, obviously pray about it. But like, come talk to me. Like, well, we haven't got your personal development, your training, but if you're like still unsure, let's figure out what you're struggling with and what lies you believe, aka reminder of my tasks to do 3 to 5 lies that you believe. And then I'm going to help you figure out what self-development is like going to be the best for you. And it's okay if the one that I recommend doesn't hit with you, because like I didn't recommend Ashley Mayfield to Grace, and guess what, that's all she listens to now, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to have different things, because as long as you're willing to be coachable. And like, you know, Grace started talking to Kelsey, and Kelsey's a lot more red, and she's like, do this, this, and this. And, you know, now they have that relationship, and that's really cool. And so I guess I just wanted to kind of like remind everybody of that. And just like I said, remind you of your worth, remind you that you are worthy, that you can do this, and that you really just have to put in the work, and you have to be consistent, but you also have to put in the work like on yourself, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I want to be respectful of your time. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording unless Grace has anything else she wants to say.
I do have just a few more things. I found some quotes that she said. Confidence looks like arrogance to those that are insecure. Also, your confidence grows with everything that you're already doing. So just keep doing it. Where to go? Ain't no need to know where you're. This is how she said it too. Ain't no need to know where you're going. You just have to know where you came from. And then
it's where you've been, because that's from Cars, and that's why I know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I watched the movie.
You're right. I wrote it down wrong. And then there's she said everything that you've healed from brings abundance, and everything you haven't healed from creates lack. That's all.
Just leave us with those 2 mic drops. It's fine.
Yep.
Well, like I said, that speaker, the event, the whole thing itself was just absolutely incredible. Obviously, you can feel our passion. Hopefully, you can like hear our excitement. You can feel our excitement. Like that's what we want, and like we want you guys at the next event. You know what I mean? Like I mean, Sydney is local to Grace, and like I have just local issues a little bit farther away from me now. But like I imagine, you know, sitting on my Zooms and having my girls here. I imagine going to conference with my team, and so I really think honestly that you guys are the team I prayed for, and I'm really, really excited to see what this like next little bit is going to bring for you. I'm really excited to work with you guys on the Christmas cash, because it is so incredibly possible, especially if you're putting in the work. So I hope that you feel worthy after this Zoom. I hope that you feel encouraged, and I hope especially that you feel encouraged considering that Grace has been in for 6 months and she earned a retreat, like all inclusive, like literally she had to pay for a plane ticket. It's incredible. Okay. And so I don't want you to think that I'm getting off of this Zoom and she's like, oh, well, all she talked about is Grace. No. Okay. That's not it at all. But obviously I am coming off of something that she did earn. But what I'm trying to say is that Grace is new. And that's why I wanted her to kind of share some of her thoughts too, because like I can talk all day, but you're like, well, you're not new anymore. So, you know, and like, I'm not saying that you guys think that, but it's really nice to be able to hear from someone that obviously is newer, that's, you know, at the level that you guys are at and things like that. So I do hope that you feel worthy. I do hope that you feel encouraged. And I do want to see you guys at conference. So if you have not gotten your conference ticket, you can do pay by commission. I have a whole posting there to be done. I'm going to take you guys in. But genuinely start thinking about those dates and start figuring out how you can get there, because it's going to change your life. I promise you. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here. If I find the button that I can't find now. Well, no, never mind. Okay, found it. I was like, I don't know.